Yeah, the first DLC definitely overcorrected on. See, it's funny. I had assumed. Oh, thanks for the follow there. I had assumed that they would eventually add a merchant that would sell Twinklies like they did for the giant blacksmith in Dark Souls 1, but they never did. The solution, as far as I can tell, was to make you do the first DLC because in fairly early on there are treasure chests that have a ton of Twinklies and Dragon Bones, and that, as far as I can tell, that's the corrective measure they had for it. Which, fair enough. It's a pretty simple run to get to that stuff. We have a... huh. I didn't think there was an NPC summon sign there. Huh. Didn't explode. The one in Brightstone Cove will definitely blow up on you if you try to get too close to it. A great magic barrier. Well, that's all right. I didn't realize there was one. I didn't realize you could get one for free. I think I bought a scroll from Welliger. Okay, so we have a couple of these enemies from the Looking Glass Knight fight to deal with if we go here, and we will. They shouldn't be too difficult to beat. Oh, too early. Didn't realize he would have quite that startup delay on the swing there. Guard Crush. Hey, it should have been a Guard Crush critical hit thing. I probably just did it a little too soon. Right? I think they're immune to bleed and poison and all that stuff too. So I might just go ahead and switch to the old whip for these guys. Yeah. Let's see, old whip instead of spotted whip. We still have our... I don't think they drop anything either, so we'll switch back to this ring. Art Soul, okay, well, that's good. That's a free 8,000 right there. And to deal with. I think the idea in Scholar is that you see that new glowy over there, and I'm pretty sure that's new. And then it kind of encourages you to run all the way back and get it, and then suddenly you're drowning in a mirror squires. They just did not know how to handle the backup strats. Here we go. Yeah, durability is still going strong, so that one. Okay, this is it. Oh, there was a petrified dragon bone. Thank you, Flython. 1 down, 4 to go on maxing that sucker out. I'm trying to think if there are any other ways of getting them, but I don't think there are. You'd think that the Dragon Covenant would handle that, but nope. They just do the Dragon Scales, which are Covenant items only. Bright Bug, okay. Well, if you feel silly for not catching on to Malentia's scam, that she raises the prices whether or not you actually buy them, then there's 1 or 2 for free you can get. All right. I think it comes to life once you go in front of it, basically. Yeah. I don't think this will help if we actually do get hit by it, but... Oh! Ah. Oh, is that thing actually dead? Nice. I'm glad it killed that thing. But the damage it did to me, it had to have been enough to kill it. That's funny. It's good to know it's not an instant kill. It's just really bad news. Alright, and then at that point, we're about to get our infinite use homeward bone. So I'll just warp back to the first bonfire there. Remember, check behind the Salazar paintings for gold bars. Flython's surprised he remembered that, considering he can never bring himself to actually make any boss weapons. Did you never really play around with that much, or was it just not something that you usually do? Because yeah, I'm pretty fond of them. Yeah, I like how they tend to have some oddball mechanics that otherwise don't get used much, like how the self buff nature on the what am I thinking of? self buffs on the Throne, Defender, and Watcher swords, stuff like that. Yeah, they try to Estus themselves, but not going to work. Alright, so the whole point of getting the Aldia key is so you can go through this route instead of having to go all the way up front. They changed this room completely in Scholar. We still have a couple of these guys, but we have still have a couple of the Acolytes, but there's a Aldia Warlock in the background there. You might remember them from the Prowling Magus and the Congregation fight. Yeah, I like how just the incidental shuffle step of combat is enough to get you out of the orb range. Alright. I also kind of wish that he would hit his own buddies with that magic. It doesn't look like something you'd normally have friendly fire on. Nice try. One interesting thing, too, is that all of the treasure chests in this room are mimics, and all of them respawn. So you kind of get the impression that mimics are a, Aldia creation. They're also a bit tougher than usual, too. So the big problem with them is that you can get lured into a situation where you get hit by the orb, and then you're sitting duck for the mimic's attack. If they come back, I think they only have the fixed drop the one time. Alright, let's switch to... Yeah, it passes through the cage, too, not just the... Yeah. Huh. I don't think it'll pass through this. So let's switch back to the Poison Whip. And... Actually, this seems like a good time to try that strategy that Summer was thinking of. Oh. Okay, there we go. So we'll do Notch Whip in one hand and Spotted Whip in the other. And what's the dex on that? 125. So good. So you just have to have half again on your stats. Wait a minute. What am I short on? That is 9. We don't have the strength for the Notch Whip. We need an 18, and we are at 14. What about the regular? What about the Flame Whip? That should work. Hey, Sprawl. Games need more creative mimics. The barrel's a mimic. The pot's a mimic. Our soul memory is about 1.2 million. We're making pretty good time. Alright. So this is one of those... I think I've managed to avoid every other gargoyle we could have fought up to this point. So here's this guy. He is a copy... He's just a straight-up copy of the ones in Belfry Luna. But you get a bit more interesting terrain to deal with this time around. I do not want to be... Yeah, I basically want to have him on this side of this nonsense, and not me. Because the orbs will fly over all this stuff. But... Okay. Ouch. There's about a homing orb about to ruin my day. There we go. Oh, hey. So I haven't actually used the whip power stance before. That's quite a bit of lag, even compared to usual on it. I wonder if I can still... Aha! I love being able to attack, around and through walls with this. Of course, he can too. Alright. I think we'll go ahead and bait him into swinging at me. Oh, we almost got him. Interesting, what hit him? I wonder if the dark orb was doing damage to him, maybe. Or, oh, I bet he got poisoned by some hits from the Spotted Whip. That's what that was. Maybe we just fought smaller mimic inside. Yeah, Matryoshka, or what was it called, right? Matryoshka doll mimics. Okay. I'm gonna lure this guy this guy away from the warlock, then we'll just skip him and go finish this guy off. Okay. Oh, I thought I could probably just crush him next time he tries to turtle up like that. I think my problem was I'm using the flame whip for my offhand because I can't power stance a notched whip, and all of these guys have high elemental resistances. Yeah, that'd be a perfect time for barrel mimic, I think. Get too close and nom nom. Yeah, I think the mimics probably just all drop the cracked orbs. Even if there are bonfire mimics in the game, right? And did you see there was some fan art of a bonfire mimic? Did you ever see that? I always thought that was pretty hilarious. And we have one last trap here for a dungeon that's pretty much full of them. Oh, darn it. I actually did not mean Navlon himself, but that's a factor too. So this is the reason why I cleared the room out. The hippos can't follow us in here, and Navlon will. He uses some dark versions of other hexes, or basically hex versions of other spells. I'm gonna get out of there. Oh, got me. Yeah, he has some pretty crazy versions of Darkstorm and stuff like that. So very fun enemy to fight. If you can get up to him solo, you can just stun lock him. But that'll be the tricky part. Okay, now that we're hollowed, let me go back and talk to Navlon, speaking of. Because I don't think there are any enemies I need to fight until there. Actually, I think you've all probably seen that one before. So yeah, we'll just skip that for now. Right. Yeah, maybe I will... You know what? I think what we'll do, actually, is let's do Flame Whip in the main hand, Spotted Whip in the offhand, Spotted Whip in the offhand, and that way we can Sunlight Blade the Flame Whip. Yeah, there we go. Alright, that should add a fair bit of damage to it. Unfortunately, this means I need to do these guys again. That shouldn't be too bad, though. Okay. And there's... Oh, not quite enough for that one. A fair bit of damage for a shield bash. Yeah, these guys are fairly simple to backstab, too. Yeah, just circling around so I can see the dark orbs coming. Okay. So, that one, yeah, I'll verify that. I'm thinking might be easier to ignore these guys and just fight the hippos, but yeah, they're not too bad. I mean, our elemental resistances are also fairly high, so we're not actually taking too much damage from this guy. You know, if I was thinking, I probably would have gotten the rat ring on. Be able to poison the gargoyle a bit more quickly. Interesting, he kind of through there. Alright. We know he likes to come around here. Once I get him poisoned, pretty much got him. Yeah, it's got to be the poison that was doing it last time, right? There it goes, okay. It has fairly high poison resistance. See if we can deal with this guy now. Alright. Nice try. Oh, a hammer. The hammer, okay. I kind of like how you get kind of a scientific hammer from those guys. I don't know how you all feel, but I've always kind of been intrigued when games have the intersection of magic and science in these fantasy games. Seath was I think was part of what made Seath so effective. All right, that guy, Taylor's just there. So, and once the thing's broken that first time, it will always be. So get that one. That should be close enough to get Navlan to spawn. If it's not, we can just deal with this guy through the door. Or can we? Looks like he won't follow that far. All right. I love how the other hippo is just like, not my problem. Should be safe from pretty much anything except the getting telekinetically grabbed into his into his grab. So or getting hit directly, that's bad too. There we go. There's the poison. That should pretty much do it there. I was going to use Sunlight Blade for this part, but I think with the hippo being dead, Navlan should not put up much of a fight. So, I don't have Magic Barrier up. Well, darn it. I was going to use that because it applies to all elemental resistances. That applies to all elemental resistances. It would have been a good way to buff us up against the fire from the next boss, too. Alright. So we're going to be pretty mean here, and as soon as he spawns in, rush him. And not really give him much of a chance to do his thing. Well, that was the plan anyway. Okay. Go ahead and get him as soon as he comes to the door. He can't heal himself, so once we get him poisoned, that should be pretty much it. There we go. Don't know what he was thinking with the melee there. maybe he's from like Rune Soldier Louis and stuff like that. Buff up and then punch. Alright, so we made it with most of our resources left, and this boss is not that difficult. I will keep let's get some long-range poison, and let's get some flame bursts handy if he ends up trying to keep us, trying to play keep away with the fire breath. Because it is a thing that can happen in this fight. Oh, you know what? Fire is not going to do much good here. And there we go. Alright. So what I want to do is, as much of a hassle as it is, I actually want him to do one of his roost in the far corner attacks. And use that time to buff up. There we go. So basically for that one, just run the opposite side of the arena. And let's get some old whip power going. It's not bad. You probably want to be unlocked for this part. Well, interesting, we had the poise to not get knocked down by that, but... Okay. Just gonna run past him and heal up. Alright. Guardian Dragon is not a hard boss, but it can definitely be tricky. Okay, opposite side again. Old Whip's still doing okay. I think we'll stick with it until we need to. I should have the Notch Whip ready. Yeah. Sure, the Notch Whip ready in my offhand. Oh, ouch. Forgot how big the AoE is on the Fireball, because he doesn't do that one too often. Okay, but with Navlon dead, it should be a pretty simple run to the boss there. And how about we actually use a magic barrier too, protect us from the fire breath. Also, I'm thinking the power stancing. Well, the power stancing would poison him faster, so yeah, I think we can stick with that. Maybe do the rat ring. Hope that you build up faster. Okay. And yeah, the the hippo will break down this first door too. Always doing that grab attack first. The game actually kind of slows down for the cinematic, you know, kill cam there. Okay. Easy enough. And do they follow you onto the walkway? No, it looks like. Cool. Yeah, the reason why you want to buff up, if you can, before running through the door, is that way you can go right at him, and we can just go right at him, and not have to wait for the first, wait for the first move. That being said, we're going to get our bloodstain first. All right. Oh, didn't even get any damage on him. He usually lands pretty close to where he was, to where he was whenever he does that move. Okay, got some hits in. Yeah, not much you can do about this one, though, unless you've got... If you were a more traditional Faith build, we could use Lightning Spears on him for when he does that move. It's actually a great way to keep the damage up. Okay. So you kind of get an idea of how to do this at this point. There we go, there's some poison. Alright. Oh, saw my blade wear off already? Lame. Oh, speaking of lame. Ouch. Well, we can still get more poison build up with the offhand whip. There we go. Then, let him breathe. Run underneath them. We had another cast of magic barrier. Like if I was using the regular magic barrier, that'd be when you do it. Let's get a little greed here, because if we poison him, that's that. We did not. That's really the only risk you're at in this fight, if you keep your health up whenever he does a lingering flame breath move that can hit you multiple times. And there we go. Pretty simple boss. I think we can get one more. No, it's a dragon scale, not a petrified bone here. You know, if I do a couple of the crystal lizards and dragons in Dragon Aerie, I think we'd be able to max it out. Then the question is if it's worth it to do that. A gorgeous view ahead, instead of just booking it to the next part for the Dragon Shrine. Well, either way, better get her skin back. Yeah, unfortunately, we ended up a little pale on the color slider. Well, compared to some of the monstrosities you end up with in Dark Souls 2's character creation, I think we ended up okay. I think I pretty much stopped when we got to our heroic square jaw. Alright. Yeah, no more whips to get unless we wanted to farm for the bloodied whip. So, might as well just move right along.
Bearer of the curse. Long have I awaited one such as you. One who can set me free. Bearer of the curse. The ancient dragon has watched over the world for eons.
This made me think she was an avatar of the ancient dragon the first time I saw this one. Her, when the line, her manifestation. And the fact that the end of this area is the ancient dragon. But then she does something like that she was created by dragons, and not, or I think the line is contrived by dragons. It's a little on the nose to talk about contrivance in your fantasy games, but yeah. But anybody who hasn't played Scholar, yep, you can. The ladder starts out pre-kicked. You can just skip the entire thing. There are some goodies, but yeah, I'm just thinking we might as well just skip it, since the only thing it would be good for is getting our spotted whip from +4 to +5, and maybe we have 1. We need 4 more.
You've been long.
She's selling these yet? She's selling 3 actually. Huh. Yeah, let's see if we get any in Dragon Shrine. Then I can come back and buy the rest if we need to.
No.
Alright. I also wonder if you can make a poison spotted whip. You probably can't infuse it.
Bearer of the...
Alright. So, we're going to want... Was it strength 18 to power stance to notched whip? Yeah. Yeah, we'll get that one next time. And I'm pretty sure I'm going to need at least 1. So let's see, that was 1750, right? We're selling those for. So let's use a Proud Knight. We've got plenty of those. We'll buy 1 Petrified Dragon Bone.
What?
Also, buying 15k or more from Cloanne triggers her to give you a Twinkly for free.
No.
Which we don't need anymore, but hey, it's a thought that counts. Alright, Dragon Aerie it is. Yeah, I think we'll just skip Aerie for now, and to come back if we need to, and just move along. Because after this one, we still have the giant memories to go through, which those shouldn't be too bad either. But you never know. There's also a Twinkly we can get by dropping off the site here and using the Aged Feather. I think we want to go. Is it this one? No, that's a return trip. Is it? Oh, it's all the way up and then over, isn't it? Yeah, here we go. I think my problem is I usually don't see the rope on that one, so I think it's a return trip one too. There's also a Navlon ambush point on you if you start here and then go back to head back into the level. Oh, hi. That's a fair bit of damage. Well, I should have brought some dark resistance. Ah, that spell just messes you right up, doesn't it? Yeah, I think I will... Yeah, we still have Great Magic Barrier attuned, so I think I'll just buff up before we fight him. Because we have a bonfire coming up at the start of the next part anyway, so... Yeah, we'll do that. I don't know if we even get anything for killing all of the extra Navlon encounters. I know that when for the LP, I ended up triggering them all just to get extra points toward the Vanquisher's seal. Okay. So we're gonna have a mummy heading our way, right? Okay, we got you. Haha, nice. I'm hoping that would happen. Let's see, and then we're going to want the old whip buffed. Yep. Right. Now, we will take no guff from the sorcerer. Oh, interesting. We can hit him right away as he starts spawning in. Oh yeah, that reduced the damage by a lot. Plus we poisoned him too, so... Sweet. I guess it'd be kind of neat if you dropped the... Well, there's an effigy every time. I guess there's that. This is a generic reward for killing an invader. But yeah, for that Then and Now LP, they ended up being in being the company of champions for every end of long fight, and because you ended up killing 50 Red Phantoms, invaders, and the 5 for him was definitely helped out on getting that. Poor Aldia. You'd imagine he starts like peering through the bonfire. It's like, welp. You didn't see his face in this form. I think we even can.
Peace grants men the illusion of love. Shackled by fools who stay young for love.
I think that's his face. There we go.
Until the curse touches the flesh. We are bound by this yoke. As true as the dark that child within men. All men trust fully the illusion of life. But is this so long? A construction facade, and yet a world full of wounds and splendors. No, hello. Are you intent on shattering the yoke? Spoiling this wonderful falsehood? I am Aldia. I sought to shed the yoke of fate, but failed. Now, I only wait an answer. Seek the throne. Seek light, dark, and what lies beyond.
Makes it sound like you're going to do something about like all humanity, but as far as I know, nothing like that ever happens. Okay, so we have a. I think that works pretty well. Just keep those buffs for now. They completely changed the... oh, I think we have enough strength now. Let's get our notched whip ready. Bleed in one hand and poison in the other. I think that'll be a good way to do it. And poison's good. We can switch this back to... yeah. You basically can't poise through the enemies here. So there's not really much point in trying. Interesting. I don't think I was... That's weird. I got the guard crush animation even though I quite clearly wasn't blocking. Because you can't block while you're power stancing. Ooh. I think he has his friendly fire mode turned on. There we go. Alright, Ref, you saw that one. That was a clean win. How many lockstones we have left? 6, okay. I'm gonna grab this one. I like the holy trench coat kind of thing you get with the judgment set in this game. Oh, I did not mean to have the old whip on still. Let's switch to the notched whip. Yeah, using old whip on a Drakekeeper would be a great way to ruin the durability on it. That also means I need to switch which whip is in which hand. No, we'll be fine. Let's see, that's 3 bonfire ascetics, don't need those. But yeah, basically in Scholar, they changed the Dragon Shrine part to be a series of kind of PvP matches with the Drakekeepers, with the Dragon Knights kind of, chaperoning, I guess, being like the impartial observers. Okay. If you run past them your first time through, I think they will aggro you. But otherwise, they only aggro if you attack them yourself. It is pretty funny watching that giant thing just clip right through those guys, though. Huh? Dude, we're not actually power stance. Sorry. Could I still not... Oh, I'm 1 point of strength short. Whoops. Well, in that case, let's just stick with... the spotted whip and get poison to kick in, and then switch to the notched whip. And hey, come back here. I'm talking to you. Huh? Oh, yeah, you can see there's a bit of phantom range on that one. He didn't actually hit me with it, but the attack radius is hitbox is a little bit bigger than it appears. And there's the poison. Oh well. Yeah, the Drakekeepers are some of the most infamously obnoxious enemies in late game Dark Souls 2. And yeah, a lot of it comes down to RNG on them, because they have certain patterns that aren't too bad, but they got a couple that So I think I'm actually going to throw down. Actually, yeah, we'll use that, and then we got some resins still. So yeah, we'll resin the old whip for the fight against the big guy. Yeah, I'll stick with poison. Okay, that was close. He almost hit me there. Part of the problem, too, is that since these are the obligatory giant armored enemies in this game, they take reduced damage from slashing. Unfortunately, is the damage type of our whips. There we go. Okay, that's what I wanted. Hitboxes are atrocious. Good grief, I don't remember them being that bad. Oh well. You don't have to fight very many of these guys, so each one is kind of a mini boss fight. That's okay. Alright, there's our souls. So, we've got our durability ring on. We've got our power stance on. Let's do this. But that's the moveset that if we can get it, we want to have, the downward chop. Yeah, if he hits you with the side to side, and you get hit with the first one, you're going to get hit with the second one because of the way the stagger mechanics work in this game.